we went back to the literature to look at the summaries of studies that were done. And the most recent study was 1980. And if you look at the detail, there were 24 people put on a low-carb diet. In fact, they all lost weight and the triglycerides fell, but there was this pesky little rise in LDL, which then they thought would mean that everyone would, have heart disease, and it was a terrible. It was like actually prejudgment on change in LDL cholesterol, but that's going to ring true in the cholesterol class, right? Because there's so many people still focused on the LDL. I just kind of have to chuckle because, by today's standards, a study with only 24 people in it, which is not randomized, it's not a large enough study to make any sort of policy decision by any means. But what it did is that it made it taboo or an unwritten rule that you couldn't study or use low-carb keto diets. So 20 years later, when my group at Duke and Jeff Volak's group started studying the low-carb diet, and we did it because we were concerned about the safety as well. But we broke this taboo thing. It's give me 50 people, follow them over 6 months, publish it in a peer-reviewed journal, studying everything you can about their health. So, and then many more studies have been done since that time. It's gotten to the point where actually the low-carb diets and keto diets are the most studied diets, even though Gary Taubes, Nina Teicholz were also very important in kind of relearning that low-carb diets were used for obesity since 1863, and low-carb diets were actually used for diabetes since the 1920s in this textbook. And as we got into this and doing our own research, learning that the low-fat diet was not founded on great science. The whole idea of eating fat being bad was not very scientific, if it was scientific at all. Learning that actually these diets were commonly used before the whole 1970s, 80s sort of debacle against eating fat. So now I can confidently say that low-fat diets are not science-based. High-fat diets are science-based, and there are actually guidelines now, therapeutic guidelines in the Obesity Medicine Association, the American Diabetes Association, and the Society of Metabolic Health Practitioners have guidelines that show how to use therapeutic carbohydrate restriction, which is the technical term for low-carb diets, how to use them safely. Happy to be on the covers of Woman's World. And here on the far right in 2021, I started using the term prescription strength keto. And if this plan were a drug, it would be approved by the FDA. So I teach a evidence-based and prescription strength keto.
Annotated and summarized. Easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.
From the website doctorstotrust.com, you can view the summary notes and share or print the PDF of those notes.